Welcome everybody to the channel. Welcome all you mad lads and ladies. Today we are going to be ranking Spider-Man's hero cards. And we're going to be giving it a score. If you have not seen the video of me playing Spider-Man deck through all 4 aspects, I do not own the pool aspect yet. Please go ahead and give that a watch if you want to see how I kind of go through my process before I actually start ranking it. So let's go into the ranking. I have categories are love to play, like to play, play if able, rarely play, and don't play at all. Some things do fall in that category. As we go through more hero characters, maybe we'll see them. Excuse me. Okay, first up is the hero side of Spider-Man, which is going to be love to play now. Obviously, his stats is 1, 2, 3, but I put him into the love to play because his interrupt when the villain initiates an attack against you, draw a card. Now that's going to happen every turn as long as you're in Spider-Man form, unless the villain is stunned. Or it could happen more if you call an encounter card to attack you. So the more cards you have, the better your next turn is going to be, because it gives you more options, of course. The 1, 2, 3 stat, I like. He's not a very good thwarter. 2 attack is decent, 3 defense is pretty good. So no matter what he's on this side, I think there's good options to go with any. Moving on to his alter ego, I also have love to play. Now, his recovery is 3. I like that. That's average. Especially paired up with Aunt May, that can be something real good if needed. But the scientist resource, generate a mental resource limit once per round. That is good. That's almost as good as getting an extra card, but it's really generous at the start of a game. When you start at Peter Parker, you already have 6 cards, and you have that extra resource to be able to play as much as you can. His health is 10, which I think is pretty good. I mean, it's not the lowest, it's not the highest, it's good. Yeah, that's all I have to say for that. Next up is Black Cat. Black Cat, we underplay if able. Now, I think she would be lower on here. I think her forced response after you play Black Cat, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Add each card with a printed mental resource discarded this way. That is why she is bumped up. That, and also she does not get a consequential damage from her attack. But the forced response is something I like because it gives you options to get more cards. More cards is fantastic to use and also you can also go the Voltron way with Black Cat if you're playing that way. Just put a bunch of attachments on her just to buff her up more. That way you can deal more attack than just the 1. But she is good to have out there as long as possible. And if you really need to defend with her, you can. Next up on the list is Backflip. What I put in to like to play. It's an event. It's a 0. Something I recommend is always putting it at the top of your hand and like laying it down in front. Oh, you always see it and don't forget about it. It is the cost of using just its own card when you get attacked. But the interrupt defense, when you would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent all of that damage. So if you're about to get hit and you don't have much life left and you didn't want to flip, you can use this to get out of it. So what did I rank this as? Like to play. Yes, I like to play this one as much as possible. Whenever I remember to, or it's in my hand. Especially with that 0 cost card, it makes it fantastic. Moving on to Enhanced Spider Sense, I put as, where did I put that? Play if able. Honestly, I should probably put that lower, but it only costs 1, and when a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its 1 revealed effects. Now, this is one that I completely and always forget to do. Otherwise, it would be higher if me personally would remember to do it. Being able to cancel a treachery that you don't want to deal with, fantastic. And if you get a card that you can't use this card for, it's just a card you can use for another card. The only downside of using it is your hand size gets smaller. luckily you're being attacked, so you get to draw pretty much its replacement card. Moving on is Swinging Web Kick, which I love to play. Obviously, it's the best attack damage pretty much in the game. Deal 8 damage to an enemy. Now this artwork is pretty cool too. It does cost 3, pretty spendy. Sometimes you'll get the chance to use 2 cards if you can pull that many cards out from your deck. You know, 8 damage is a great way to start off any villain phase, or to end the final villain phase if need be. I put this at the top right. Yep, every time this comes around, I try and play it as much as I can, unless I don't want to push the villain yet, and I want to save it for the next phase. And sometimes you have to use it to spend for other things, because sometimes you need to. But otherwise, I will try to play it as much as I can, even on minions if I need to. Sometimes it's got to be done. Moving on, Aunt May, going to be like to play. Now, she's like the best support for healing. Her alter ego action exiles to Aunt May. Heal 4 damage from Peter Parker. 4 damage is a good chunk. Now, obviously you have to switch back to Peter. So if you pair up Peter's heal, that's what, 7 health healed. So you could essentially use all your health, stay in hero form as much, flip over as long as this is out, and it only costs 1, so it's pretty simple to get out there. I recommend putting this out there as soon as you get it. That way it's out there and you have it just in case. That way you don't have to use Peter's recovery if you're able to. Moving on to Spider Tracers, which is going to be on Play a Fable. Now it only costs 1, simple. Now Play a Fable, if there's a minion out there that you can take out probably quickly, then yeah, go for this. Especially if the threat's going on here. This is basically Peter's threat mitigation cards. In the games that I played against Green Goblin, Mutagen Formula, it was very helpful. I sometimes had to pair it with Swinging Web Kick to get rid of the tougher enemies, along with reduce the threat so it didn't cap out. It's a good card, but it's only able to be played if there is a minion out there, and if you do not have threat under control. If you do, if you're playing Justice, then this card might be a moot point. It'll just be something to put on a minion if you're able to. I said. Going on to Web Shooters. I put this into like to play. Now it costs 1. And if you get it, you should probably put it down. If you don't, I don't know. I don't know why. It costs 1. This is a good one to use. Peter Parker's, what is it called? His resource ability on his alter ego side. Excuse me. Use this to get it down. That way you're not using one of your cards to put the web shooter out. And when you flip over, you can use web shooter. It has three wild resources that you really get to use. One a turn though, or one a phase. Once a phase. Once a round, not a phase. Yeah. 1 round. You have 2 of them. You're gonna both out there. You got 2 free resources to use. 3 if you're counting. Nope, not if you're counting Peter, because this has to be used in hero form. Peter has to be an alter ego. That doesn't like to play. Webbed Up is also in Play if Able, the last card. Now, hero form only, attached to an enemy, max 1 per enemy. Force interrupt, when attached enemy would attack, discard Webbed Up instead, then stun the enemy. So this is basically 2 stuns in a row. Now, it does cost 4. It is, I believe, the most expensive card in Spider-Man's deck. Now, it is an upgrade, which when I started playing my Spider-Man Digging Deep, I thought it was an event, so when he attacked, so the first game that was kind of moot, so you gotta play it on your turn, and then it'll trigger when the hero attacks. Now it's very good if you need him not to attack you for a little bit. So I put it under. What did I put under? Play if able. Now, if you have other cards you need to play, like Swinging Web Kick, for instance, I would use that. Or Anti-Air Web Shooters. If you have Web Shooters out, then it's a go-to to play Webbed Up. Backflip's also good to keep, so I would keep Webbed Up and Web Shooters. If they're in my hand, then I would have Webbed Up. Alright, so those are all the cards for Spider-Man's Hero deck. Now I give this a ranking of 7 out of 10. That is lower than my last one of 7.5 out of 10 for Venom, but maybe I was being a little biased on Venom. He's my favorite hero in the game. Spider-Man's my favorite hero in general. But that's alright. Stay tuned for next week. I'm not sure who I'm going to do, but look out for that Digging Deep video. Should come out on Sundays. And these rankings should be coming out every Tuesday. I'm going to go through all the heroes that I have currently, and if I get more heroes, I'll always add them. And hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have a list already made of favorite heroes. Probably do a side-by-side of current and my ranking system here. Honestly, I would love to know Web Warrior Fanatics' own ranking of Spider-Man, because I know he loves Spider-Man, and his whole first like 2-3 months of YouTube was just Spider-Man just going at it against all the expert villains. I would love to know his ranking, so if he's watching this, I'd like to know. The people would like to know, the mad lads and the ladies. Alright, that is it for this stream. Please, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and there's details for Facebook, Discord, and Twitch in the details if you would like to follow any of those. Alright, y'all have a good night. Deuces.